daily market recap for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Let's go. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. A lot of twos in there. Let's get into it. Again, start off the Discord room. If you have any questions about the video, please stop by Discord room or leave a comment in the below. And yeah, if you got any questions, just don't hesitate to ask. There's a lot going on here, and it's also interesting. I have people in the Discord room who ask questions, and check the description. I list all the tickers that we're going to talk about. I know these videos can be a little long, but there's a ton of information to unpack. So again, let's get started. Good old Bitcoin. If you watch previous videos, what did we say? Watch out for this VAP zone, volume at price. And if we fail, do not be surprised if at any point we retest 35,000. I swear to God, it's in the video. I'm a big believer in double bottoms. Notice how choppy. I will say we broke the trend line, but the hardest thing about breaking trend lines is that if you don't leave them alone, they come back to haunt you either on the backside or you get double bottoms. I always tell people that, that's why I don't chase bottoms. If something pops, I think at some point there'll be a spot you can buy on a dip, because what happens if this is your bottom, like over here on the left in May, and it's just you're chasing up here and it comes back and it comes back and it comes back. So you want to try to get as close to any bottom as possible and identify. And if you don't know how to identify levels, let's talk about it. There's plenty in the room. TLT, I have said on record that I thought this was the bottom for the bond market. We filled the gap here in pink. It's again on previous videos. Check out the Discord and we talk about it. Again, at some point, the market is going to like if bond yields have peaked. We did it last year. If you do keep in mind, a lot of people don't remember this, and this is, sad, is that yields bottomed in the spring and then went lower. And again, TLT is a inverse relationship. If the TLT is rising, yields are coming down. So if yields are coming down, mortgages are, houses become more affordable. It's easy, lower rates. Typically, that's what it means. So if the TLT is rising, lower rates, I think we're bottoming. Don't be surprised if we retest at some point, but I think rates are going lower. I mean, this war stuff, even though I don't think there will be war, the global growth slowing, it just seems very obvious that everyone thinks rates are going higher and they're not. When everybody's on one end of a trade and it doesn't seem to be working, tech, when we talked about, say, like Tesla in November, like everybody's bullish. Problem is then it drops. Like you just have to, again, think of it as like a teeter-totter. You want that nice balance to rise, but as soon as everyone jumps on one side, it just flips the other way. So that's just what it is. Anyway, dollar 50-day channel, not really much to say. I don't think the dollar matters at this point. It's chopping around. The VIX, we did talk about this one today earlier in the Discord room. I said, hey, watch the action up in the 30s. And again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, drop in Twitter knowledge constantly, dropping alerts. We talked about the VIX. You can see IWM hourly. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. There it is. The VIX said, watch the action up here. I tend to believe currently that when news keeps getting parroted over and over and over and it starts to lose its effect, it naturally does, because, the same headline doesn't matter as much. Now, again, if there actually a war does break out with Ukraine and Russia and Europe gets involved in America, World War III, yeah, I think that'll have a spike in the VIX. But at this point, it's just jawboning. I mean, I don't know the evidence of what's going on. I don't see anything legit. But at this point, I think the VIX is probably going to be capped off in the 30s. So if that's the case, then the SPY should be a buy, right? We're hitting our blue zone. We talked about this. I did it again on Twitter. Talked about, hey, this blue zone becomes a buy. Anything, I would even, because this is, notice what's going on here. It doesn't seem to be able to close below this 428, 430 area. Do we get continuation down? Or is this a double bottom? This is what probability trading is about. Let's just see what happens. You break the lows, it goes lower. doesn't. It's a double bottom. So you can play it pretty easily. You can play it, you can buy the dip, see what happens, or you short the breakdown. It's really that simple. I know paper doesn't seem that obvious and simple, but it really has to be. Qs looks like a nice little double bottom, and doji talked about this trend line breaking short term and meant it was going back lower. I think that trend line is now invalidated, but what do you see here? It's clearly a double bottom. Hopefully I don't have to say it. You can just see it. QQQ, double bottom. Doji. Now, here becomes the next thing. If it breaks, this would be what's considered a doji sandwich, and if it holds, then it's a double bottom. And now, how high could it go? I would say play the trend line first. I would watch the 20-day. It is due to bounce in the sense that it's due, but it's also not. And when I say not, tech is underperforming. It's very clear. Will it regain its strength? I don't know. But if you go zoom out, this is where I'm always talking about the monthly. You know, what did we say? We're going to hit the 20 month. And I swear to God, if you watch previous videos, we talked about this over and over. We said the QQQ is probably going to hit the 20 month. Now, I didn't talk about it every video because it's a monthly chart. But when you zoom in, you can see it, the 20 month. Now, again, could you go a little lower? I think so. But this is the biggest problem I have with the Qs is this is that like shoot up and sell off. You know, we were talking about having to sell, like people are asking about ExxonMobil or Tesla. We went in this nice gradual step up to shoot, blow off last move. When you see the blow off last move, means it's going to consolidate, and the consolidation means it probably does go lower. I'm predicting more in, let's say, in the summer months and also in the fall, but we shall see. I mean, I've been wrong before, and I don't ever try to act like I can't be. It's all probabilities. You have to see it as it is. IWM, I'm like, oh, look at that chart. I like it down here. I know it broke the 20-day. The volume isn't that strong. The action, though, if you can hold 195, keep in mind this one down. Look what it does. It gets choppy before it pops. Again, remember I talk about don't chase action. Well, look what happens. This is an action of a dip that I like to buy. I want to see a higher low, potentially, if I really think there's going to be a higher high coming. Hope people understand that. And when I say higher high, I mean like higher high over 209, like maybe up to the trend line. Because you can get 15, 16 points on the IWM. It's not a bad trade. Let's get into Goldie. I mean, everyone's talking about taking profits, and I can understand that. This is a nice straight line move. We went up, $110 an ounce, 11 points on the GLD. I'm just warning people that beware of selling when you break a monthly downtrend. Look at it. Big ass cup and handle. Here's your downtrend. You broke it. Now, is every day or week got to be up? No, but I would be more likely to just sell covered calls than to unload my position, because I think gold's going to go much higher. I mean, it's the same boat with silver. I mean, it is holding monthly areas. Now, can you say it's broke the downtrend? Not for silver. I'd say no. But keep in mind, like this blue zone is, impenetrable. Like it can't go below it. It's the no-brainer buy zone. I keep calling it that, and people are like, they start laughing. They're like, oh, that $20 an ounce area. I'm like, yeah, no-brainer buy zone. If you can buy silver at $20 an ounce, you should buy a house of it. So that's where it is. We hit the 200-day. Scott identified that in the chat room. I saw it as well. I forgot to mention it, but he's spot on. Look, hit the 200-day. Even Swing Jam was talking about this. You hit the 200-day, backs off. Hey, let's see what happens. Volume is not ideal, but it is a gap up. Is it a novice gap before the down? We will see. I tend to believe at this point, and again, let's go back to why my belief system is what it is, because I think that'll help. Silver has gone almost nowhere since 2008. You had that big spike up to 50, almost 50. Now you got like this big rounded bottom here. And now it's a cup and handle. It's not the same sexy cup as gold, but it is a cup and handle. If you are investing big money, now again, day trading, scalping, whatever, but if you're investing big money that you don't want to lose, this is the kind of stuff you buy because it's the safest. And if you have money, safety is crucial. You can't afford to lose big amounts of money. Maybe you can scalp and day trade and lose money, but I never advise clients to go big on scalping because you're not in the game to lose big money. It's all about wealth preservation. You always have to know your downside. Day trading, at any point, bottom could open. Speaking of GDX monthly, here we go. Came into the downtrend. You can see on the daily. Man, let me replicate. This is why I love e-signal. I do this. I go duplicate, apply to all GDX charts, and like magic, there it is. Let's clean up this chart. It is a little messy, isn't it? Little clean, unclean. GDX comes into the trend. What happens? Backs off. Now, look at the last 2 days of volume. I would not say that's major selling volume. I would say somebody's taking some profits. That's all that is at this point. So, is this a novice gap? Could be. Absolutely could be. But if you're buying down in the 2930s, are you really worried about it up here? You should be, but you shouldn't be if you're looking at the monthly chart. I would not be surprised. We talked about it. I mean, the monthly, once you come off the monthly low end of range, I mean, here's a GDXJ, same thing. Like, it's probably got months of up. So at this point, do you want to sell first or be patient? And that's the hardest thing. Like, if you ever, the best traders, like Buffett, I mean, he's like, he doesn't expect to like make a killing right off the start. He gets into a trade and knows that it's going to take time to flip. Just is what it is. You know, if you want to be that impatient, need to make money all the time, I get it. I mean, there's sometimes better opportunities. If you got a better opportunity, run with it. But if you don't, you're trying to think of what's the safest shit. I can tell you. I mean, we just talked about it. AEM, nice pop. That big volume, backing up, filling it. I mean, it was due. It went from 47 to 57. I mean, it's falling back 3 or 4 points. Don't freak out. Please don't freak out. People just, man, they overreact all the time. I mean, that's what the market does. AG got back up here, up near 12s, pulling back. Again, volume not really saying much. I don't give it really a lot of credence. But don't ever be surprised if you retest lows. That's why I'm always telling people, be careful chasing. Chasing stocks gets you slapped around. PAAS, same thing. We said, needs to hold up. It's holding up. This volume is not great. I think we can create a new trend here because I don't trust this trend line. Let's watch this. Let's make magic happen. Hello. That's what I would say is the top of the roof right now. Or that's the roof of the house. All right, let's jump into materials names because these, I mean, again, if you're worried about big investing, notice these names that we're going to talk about and check their action out because then when we get to tech, you might be like, huh, interesting. US Steel, just break this damn trend line. It's just holding high and tight. There's nothing to say. Patience, grasshopper. VALE, here's another one. Everybody's favorite stock. We talked about it last week. Hey, watch the 20-day. Man, it's up 55 cents today. It was up 3%, and while the market was down. Pay attention to relative performance because it is telling you something. CCJ, another DMAX favorite. Hey, it's holding up. I know it's not sexy, but man, if you're buying the trend line down here at 18, you're making higher lows. It's not like the Qs where you're retesting 18. Like, it's showing relative performance. So now let's look into the laggards, like the tech stocks. Good old tech. AMD, pray it holds the 200-day. It's getting super tight down here. I mean, it's oversold. I mean, you went from whatever 60s up. Oh, no, hold on. That's 80 to 160. Yeah, you did a double. Now you're backing off. Remember the head and shoulders top, 200-day. Has to hold the 200-day. I mean, it's acting better because it's not acting like the Qs. But that gap in play at some point. That gap is in play. My grammar was awesome there. Apple. Gap down to the 100-day. I've said this a billion times. Watch Apple. Watch the 100-day. Held there. Pop. Better hold again. It better hold again because the 100-day has been pretty important just in general for tech. I mean, if Apple starts cracking, tech got issues. Tech got issues. MicroStrategy. We broke the 20-day in the trend line on a gap down. If you saw Bitcoin over the weekend and you saw the action, you're not surprised. It's literally following it. So tough to know. I mean, I'm not playing Bitcoin derivatives at this point, but if you're looking in the 300 range, low 300, might be a good spot to take a stab. Good old Roblox. This one has been infuriating to buy down here. It seems, people are talking about making stabs. I have not done anything. I don't like this gap, but I also wanted, the 3-day rule. And unfortunately, the 3-day rule is like invalidated because you're making lower lows. However, today's action was a doji. Doji. Let's put a circle on it, because if we come back to it in a week from now and it looks like it was the bottom, I'm not surprised. Doji at the low. See, when you had a doji there, the 3-day rule, and again, if you know what the 3-day rule, it's talks about earnings or news. Let news and earnings play out for 3 days. If you don't confirm the action, it's going to go the other direction. But if, day 1, you make a lower low day 2, and then lower low day 3, then you got issues. You shouldn't have bought in 3 days, meaning wait 3 days is keeping you from getting in trouble. I hope that makes sense. I probably have to do a video on that, because that's a pretty big tenet of trading, 3-day rule. RIVN, this has been one that we thought hit the 1.5 extension. It got up. It's been like, it's just acting tight up to the 20-day. It's actually coffee time. No, it actually looks okay. Again, this is why I wouldn't chase. I would look for I'd look under the mid 50s if you want to buy it. Good old Tesla, let's get into it. Oh man, because people are going to be like, oh, ExxonMobil. Well, no. How you compare it? Well, okay, here you go. Big chop, boom, shoot up. The shoot off is at the end or at the bottom. Keep in mind, the straight line moves do not begin the trade. It usually ends the trade. And when I mean ends the trade is even here, like nice consolidation, chop up, and then boom, went nowhere for months. Now you're at the 200-day. Again, if you wanted to buy Tesla, here's your chance down here. If you think it's going higher, if you want to short it, it needs to confirm this. If you want to just leave it alone and use it as a proxy for the market like I am, go right ahead. I don't short Tesla unless it's very obvious, like up here. That was obvious. And then I don't even really hold it overnight because it's dangerous. I don't like betting against Elon. He knows how to manipulate a stock. He knows how to put bears in a chokehold. PENN Gaming, we talked about the trend line. It broke. Ugh. I would now watch for this 43 level because it could be a head and shoulders bottom. UTHR, like everything in life, the trend lines, death, and taxes. No, I mean, this thing is just, it's hugging this trend line. Like if we hold here, it'd be good. I mean, I like how we broke below it and we closed back above it. I would keep an eye on this one. This one actually might be something worth noticing, right? Like I didn't have an alarm set, but hey, if you're watching this, might be a good trade. EXPI, again, real estate is about to heat up. I'm not surprised we retested the 24s. Check the monthly. We're going into the seasonally strongest time. This is your low end. I don't have a problem with people buying it down here. I think you got a deal. ExxonMobil, okay, or XOP. We said 113. He couldn't get it. We're closed below the 20-day. Leave it alone. Just wait for it to break 113, or it could come back to low end range. And let's end it on ExxonMobil because Percy was asking, "Hey man, what do you think's going on with it?" And I was like, "It's pulling. It's overbought." And here's an example. Look at this. You go up, you pull back. Now look. Now ExxonMobil going from 57 up to 82, 83. That's a huge move for this company. And not that it couldn't go higher in time, but it's due to pull back. If you watch the previous videos, and I'm like, have you watched the previous video? I said, watch this area in the 70s. Don't be surprised if you go and backtest the trend lines. If you backtest the trend lines, it's probably a buy here at the 71, 72. So hope that helps. Again, if you like the channel, please subscribe, join the Discord room, share with your friends. There's tons of information. If you're this far into the video and you have not subscribed, tell me why. I'm interested to know. All right, I'll talk to you guys.
Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.